The Incarnation of Domination.
The Incarnation of Domination is a weekly segment where we talk about a superstar and all of their figures, and we discuss our favorite versions of that superstar.
The Incarnation of Domination.
Check.
All right, we're live now. We'll hit it
All right,
now.
welcome back to the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. We're here with the first ever live Incarnation of Domination. Isn't that your favorite segment on the show?
It absolutely it is
Oh,
my favorite
man.
segment on the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, WWE Hall of Famer, good old Double J, Jeff Jarrett, live here on the Major
the
Wrestling
slap
Figure
nuts
Podcast.
himself.
Listen,
Mr.
Slappy, I kicked you guys off. Did I not? Was I not the first voice heard? Was I on week one?
I think two.
No, like two or three.
Two or three.
Oh, you
We had
slappies. Come on.
This guy named Edge. He opened up our first one
Yeah.
ever. If you ever heard of him, he's a
We asked
accomplished little
Cena,
bit.
Adam,
no.
We asked him. He said no. It's a true story.
Young chap from Toronto, good
Yes.
up and comer.
Yeah,
I think
you had one of his
he
first
beat
matches,
you
right?
for the
Yes.
IC title.
Yes,
Yeah.
Toronto, Skyno, surprise, victory.
Would
But,
you have some heat? You had to drop the belt.
No, they were.
Only coming up for money then?
hey, you young kids! Back in those days, we had live events with. God, he was huge. Skydome. We really was.
That was, Skydome live event.
Yeah,
that's
Skydome
kinda-
live
that's
event,
a-
yeah.
Well, you're at some Boston college, right?
UMass. It's a pretty big school, idiot. But anyway,
Yeah, UMass.
Okay, so
Marcus Camby.
we're getting way off track here.
Double J.
As usual.
Incarnation and Domination. So all the years you're in the wrestling business, the first time you see a little plastic man of yourself, what's going through your head? What do you think?
Oh wow. That was a few years ago. So if you're asking me the very first time, no, it was. I was obviously the Hulkamania run in the mid '80s. Is I broke in '86. So right in that era, in the mid '80s, is when all the ice cream bars and the lunch boxes. That's when WWF at the time obviously just really went into the licensing program. It went nuts, and it was the wildest. It was a pipe dream that I'd ever have. Like you guys, like all of us, I'll never have an action figure, and then to actually get there and you hear about the molds and they're going to do this and do that, and then once you finally get it, it's always a really cool. It's so unique because we all grow up. I was a GI Joe guy. I'm sure.
Is it funny for you, like growing up in the business, being with third generation, right?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause we had a hard time when we first started because we were so young. We were only like 21 on the roster.
So like everyone that was on the roster, like we had their figures growing up,
and they
You
were
know what I'm
like,
saying?
they're
And then we had to
grizzled,
wrestle the
they're
guys, like
grizzled old men compared to us, and they didn't grow up where like wrestling was so romanticized with video games and bed sheets. That's like what we grew up with, so it was all we knew. And these guys didn't.
like I'm playing with the Undertaker's action figure in my bedroom. 5 years later, I'm wrestling him. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah. So. But
Okay,
it was. Is that
it's
surreal?
It's really getting creepy in here right now.
Is that surreal for you to see how the business changed like that?
Just because I grew up 70s, early 80s going, and all they really sold were 4x6 car pictures and 8x10s, and some guys had T-shirts. Back in those days, I can remember what was only relate to that kind of story is Stan Lane, Steve Kerr with the Fabulous Ones.
Oh yeah,
and I would help them out at picture tables, or my grandmother actually did that we used to wasn't called a gimmick table. It's called the picture table. So I can remember helping out on that and running and getting change and going to the concession stand doing that kind of stuff. And then, that was in my junior high and high school years. And a couple of years later, I'm actually at the table and people are paying money.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. That was like, really?
Wow.
They're gonna pay $5 for an 8x10
Right.
back in those days. That was the relatable moment that it just like, this is a little creepy.
And you've been around so long that, you were supposed to have an Hasbro figure. We talked about it with you off air weeks ago, and it got canceled. The final Hasbro series was supposed to have a Double J Jeff Jarrett, and it never happened. The head
Refresh
is
my
out
memory.
there.
What was that? 93, 96 when I left in 95, 96.
No, so this is like
So it's not 'cause
95-ish.
it wasn't canceled because you left. It canceled because the license ran out or died out. So you were still
that's right.
there.
Yeah,
Right, you're still there. So they made like the head, but it never got past that. Not that we know of, anyway.
Now, how do you guys know this?
Because we're
kind of
losers.
stuff?
We're doing a podcast about this.
Because we're diehards.
Jeff, I don't know if you know this, but I am the Michael Jordan of wrestling figure collecting.
What does that mean to you?
One, he's a freaking liar. He ain't no Michael Jordan. You're in your own world. In your
This is my
complete own
podcast.
world.
This is my world.
Yeah, you can.
So recently in that same set. So this set was supposed to come out in like 1995.
So look, here's a picture of your head, Jeff.
I'm sure all the viewers at home can go right along with us.
Yeah,
so they can
there's
see
your
me.
head.
Well,
you
if
got
the
it.
diehards
You do
know
have
it.
a
They
face
know
for
where
radio.
we're speaking of.
Okay.
So-
yes, you showed me that. That's still crazy.
Right.
Wait, who is that? Mabel?
Yep,
Yeah,
Man
so
on a
it's supposed to be
Mission.
Man on a Mission, Lex, USA Lex, a Doink the Clown,
Diesel.
Diesel, you, and Bastion Booger.
Bastion
What
Booger.
happened? The licensee.
They lost the license.
They were working on the next set, and the license ran out, and then they never came out.
Never came out.
And so Hasbro went their separate way, and WWF
Yeah,
went their
So
separate
there's
ways.
actually a big gap before Jax came in, and that's when
So
all
for
the
years,
yeah.
for years, it was all like rumor and innuendo that you guys were supposed to come out. Until a couple of years later, the heads popped up, and then the drawings popped up.
You know, the
So it
artist
went, like,
sketchwork of
live.
what it was to be.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that was a big. So there was a leak in the Hasbro office, is what you're saying. Somebody
about
went
years
rogue and released this stuff.
I think those guys, like those artists, retire and then they have all this stuff, and then they seek out people to buy it
Right.
from them. You know, what I mean, they
Because
have
at the
it.
time, it's nothing to them. You know, they probably don't even like wrestling. Like Hasbro, they're probably really working on the GI Joes. But we'll make this wrestling stuff.
but
And then
did you
years
know-
later, there's weirdos finding them on like LinkedIn and Facebook
So
and sending them.
a few months ago
Like,
on eBay, the Doink the Clown from that set and a Lex Luger pop up. And what does Michael Jordan do? Spends a lot of money on these things.
I lost Lex.
Get out of here.
I didn't win Lex. I got sniped.
How much did Lex Luger sell for?
$8,100
For a head.
It's painted. It's a little
this
piece.
is a hand painted
the
one of one,
prototype.
probably
Yeah,
prototype.
exactly.
Yeah, it's not even a real toy
So
if you think about it. You know,
this is such nerd talk, but Doink.
Let me ask you this: Do you have this stuff insured?
Yes,
he does
I do.
actually. He does actually.
Yes.
No, you don't.
I swear
Yeah.
to God,
He does.
I actually have to pay the bill this month. I just got the invoice.
And look, we're giving away these secrets you're going to get broken into. Folks, he's just relocated to Dallas. he lives in Grapevine, Texas now. So, but what's the restrictions on having it insured? Anything like that?
No restrictions, like theft, fire. It's all insured.
That's
So I have my
crazy.
homeowner's insurance and then this collectibles insurance.
Yeah.
Double dipping.
Oh boy!
So
All of a
he's gonna
sudden,
get married and have a kid and freak out one day. That's my opinion. That's my guess. But
yeah,
welcome to the real world, Zach.
I know, I know nothing about stocks and bonds and investments, but I know about action figures because I am the Michael
value.
Jordan. I am the Michael Jordan wrestling figure collecting.
He's into
but
this.
guess what? Michael Jordan is retired. He no longer plays, and he's out of touch with the game.
Some good points.
Okay, then you had a Jack specific figure. What's that?
When you were about to, when you were showing me that, I was going to go. Was there one that I was? Did I leave WCW? What about? You guys have never talked about the WCW figures with me.
I love your WCW.
Your WCW
figures.
one's great.
They come with the glasses.
The
They do.
glasses,
Yeah.
the breakable guitar.
Who made those?
Toy Biz.
But the problem there was
Is
that
Toy Biz still in business?
they became Marvel,
Marvel
toys,
Toys.
and yeah,
So they got bought out.
Yeah, bought out. Yeah, and they basically did all the Marvel.
Or changed their
superhero
name
stuff.
or
It
whatever.
was funny, as another perfect example. WWF, obviously at the time, WWF, they marketed their action figures. WCW is just
Hell no,
Suck.
right?
And
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
so
no, not at
random,
all.
too,
Yeah,
like-
It was just another figure.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
in my office at home, I'll tell a little story here. I used to only have a Owen picture, just very like 2 or 3 things in my office, and then one thing led to another, and Karen put out a bunch of stuff. But we have the action figures. When I put all the action figures, because I had them in boxes, when we put them side by side, the WCW, they made some good ones. That
Oh
company.
yeah, and they're pretty tough to come by because it was on like the deathbed WCW, so the distribution and what stores they went to. A lot of them were
Oh,
like,
really? They
a
weren't
lot of them
out?
were like UK stores and stuff.
They
so-
weren't out in the NWA Hot Run.
No,
No.
yeah, no way. Like,
Another massive.
yeah, yeah.
So like there was early like 90 to like 92 they had some figures, but then like there was a huge break and they kept switching companies and switching
Yeah.
companies.
And then they didn't make you
Wow.
to the very end there, and that like when the company eventually goes out of business.
Was the collector business, how big was it in the 90s? Nothing like it. Like, what was the percentage? Isn't it now 50, not 50-50, but 60-40? 70-30?
As far as what?
Who's a collector and who's just a kid playing? You mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
I think now it's very. I think it's. It's tough
It
to
may
say
be close to 50-50 these days.
because now like kids
Come
like
on,
us.
guys,
That's how do you get
I'm
that? How do
asking you. You're
how
supposed
do you
to
get that
Hey,
information?
Michael Jordan just went up for his tomahawk dunk, and it rimmed out halfway back to half court. You don't know the answer to that?
I don't have the stats here, Jeff. Come on.
I think.
Well, if you're the Michael Jordan,
I
you
think
can
because
do
of
all
I get-
like
I get
guys
based on-
like
based
guys
on-
like us in this show, I think we've made it very collector conscious and people are
'Cause
out
now-
there. I think the problem is there was like that baseball card boom in like the late '80s, early '90s, and people thought like I got to hold on to this stuff forever, so you're worth money.
Don West.
and that
Don
yeah.
West was a huge part of that.
Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card.
That's right.
So,
And then but you know what? We had. Oh, go ahead. Finish.
but that stuff just didn't turn out. Like people are keeping these things in the package for years and years and years, and they haven't. The value isn't
And-
there.
and that
you
also
know?
happened,
But now
like-
there's like
you know-
sentimental value where people like us had them as a kid, and we got them, got older, and we have good jobs, and we can go back and buy these things.
Do you know who
That's
Sam
like,
Roberts is?
He was on a show.
You know.
what
Anyway,
is wrong with Jordan over here?
anyway, Sam
You're
Roberts.
more like I don't know,
in the
Bill
late-
Russell
in
or
the late-
something. Dementia.
Bill Russell. Of
a lot of guys
Bill Russell had a good career.
We,
though.
love,
did,
we
yes.
love Sam Roberts, but a lot of guys like Sam in the late '90s during the Attitude Era, they took all the figures from Jax and Toy Biz, and they would just keep them in the box, hoping they'd be worth money. And now those figures are absolutely worthless.
And another thing I think about that is the business was booming so much they made so much
many.
of it. You know what I mean?
Got it.
I heard this story that there was like a merchandise meeting with Vince, and someone was bragging, "We sold out of merch at the thing," and Vince goes, "No, you should never sold out. There should just be more and more and more and more. You should just be selling it." I was like, "Okay, so that, especially in Attitude Era where things are just booming.
Boom,
I
yeah.
think that's what was the mentality."
The who Jax.
That's my favorite Jeff Jarrett figure is your Jax figure.
We talked
with the
about it.
I told you all the
glasses,
story
yeah.
that when they came to the house when we first got the license, the Jax team came
For TNA.
we used to do creative at my house.
Oh,
Right.
cool.
And I said, hey, if they're going to meet, have them come to the house. So the three execs from
Is that why you're in every set?
No, he's not.
I'm not in every set. not at all.
He knew that there was a variant.
Yeah.
There's a dark hair and a more light. Did you complain about that and they did that, or like how'd that happen?
No, somebody pointed that out to me.
Really?
I didn't know.
So, what are your thoughts on this, Jeff Jarrett? I'm showing him
That's
this.
my favorite
the
one.
Series
I
6.
have it in my office. I
This
have
one,
that
a lot of people debate over this one because this came out in '98, but this gear is like '95-ish gear.
That is debut
Even earlier.
Yeah, that's 94 gear.
I think like that-
I've wrestled Doink the Clown and
That's what I'm
right.
saying.
It's like,
So
I think
yeah.
this reference shot is from like '94-ish, but they made, this
that's-
figure didn't come out to like '98-ish.
So I think that's just
What?
yeah.
That's all. So I'd been to WCW and back.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's you. Well, that's so many times we couldn't keep track. So,
Strategic.
I think the artist who was given the job to come up with that just got an old reference photo and just went
Got
to
it.
town. He's not
'Cause we were
not
trying to
watching the
discuss-
product or doesn't know.
Nothing.
You know,
we were
yeah.
trying to discuss. I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, like which era this is supposed to be from, because then you did like the NWA, like the Aztec gear where they made the little Bend 'em
that was
figure
the
up.
Bendables.
That gear sucked, Jeff.
Yeah, what was
I
it?
agree.
What was? How did that come about?
You tell me.
So it wasn't your idea.
It was different. God, I got to get my head together. That was when I came back from WCW, right? When I started back. Yeah, we did that. And then we went back to Tennessee Lee.
Right.
Because they
You came out with the horse and stuff.
Yes.
But who
Right.
designed that Aztec stuff that you had only
Creative Services.
And okay,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like a conscious.
And then
thing
you
on
said-
your behalf.
No,
okay,
that was Creative Services.
I always loved you. What do you call this top piece?
That
with
was
all
my dream, man. Global. If we did more Global Force TVs,
You were wearing one.
The Prince of Queens is gonna get an orange and blue one and be a little Jeff Jarrett.
What is that called?
Yeah, what would you
The
call it?
double J? The double J?
J,
guy?
Double J, that's like the history of the
was.
business.
It was Double J. Totally Double J-ish.
And then Jax, they made your short-haired version, but they just use an Owen head.
See, y'all told me, y'all smart me up
I
for
just
that
can't
too.
believe
They
you've
just
never,
painted on like a goatee.
How have you not ever heard this in the history of your career?
No.
It's like so even.
And at the time,
I know
you
we're
were
deep.
team-
we're
you were-
deep into the
you
nerdom
were
here, but
teaming
like
with-
common folk
Right.
know this.
Like,
Yeah,
you were teaming with
I'm
Owen.
serious.
folk.
I'm serious. This isn't
you were
like.
teaming with Owen, and we had two figures of the same guys. You weren't twins.
Yeah, it was hard to
Oh, wow,
even
that
like.
was big heat for you.
It was hard to suspend disbelief when you're playing with them and you got the same head. You know. It's
And
like,
then
yeah.
all like the guitars and the shirts wouldn't say "Don't piss me off." It said like "Don't make me mad" or "Don't,
Don't
tick
tick
me
me
off."
off.
And that was that was.
Yeah, well, I understand that. They can't say "Don't piss me off."
Okay, well, we'll let Jeff go because he's got to actually do work today.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
we'll end it with this. You've referenced your office a few times. So what do you have throughout the years of all your stuff? Like, do you have one of everything? Have you made a point?
No,
you
no,
made a point to do that?
I
or-
have one of everything. That's
God,
why
if you
I'm
have one of every TNA shirt, you could probably lay them out and walk home on them, right?
TNA shirt.
Shirt, yeah.
No, I don't.
Like,
I only had.
You had a TNA shirt every week when you were in TNA.
All like affliction
No,
style.
Actually, it was the what do you call it? Don West called it the bone shirt, and then an alteration of that. I only had two.
Really?
You can check it out.
I'm gonna look-
Absolutely.
I'm gonna start wearing them every week.
You know what?
I'll get them on eBay.
There was like 50 different versions of TNA logo. TNA Bloodstain.
that's that
There
for
was
sure.
There was only 2.
We
But
went
so
to,
have
we
you
went
made
to
a
high
point to collect that stuff or keep it or be sentimental about it?
I don't collect shirts, glasses.
You have all your
action
old
figures.
gear.
Every
trading cards?
I got some, not everyone, but action figures.
Now
That's
that,
about really
now
all
you're
I
back,
collect.
have the airport guys been getting you with stuff every week?
Do what now?
The
You guys at the airport?
Of
seekers.
course.
Yeah,
Oh,
they get you now.
We don't like those guys.
No, we don't put them over
Where
on the
was I
pod.
at?
Pittsburgh was real bad a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Oh no. Because where did I come from? It was week 2 when I flew into Portland. Wow, they were there in mass.
Yeah.
And
Sunday
luckily,
afternoon.
Luckily, there's no Mattel figure yet because they'd be just handing them all to you.
Well, we can
Design.
say this, guys. If you're listening to this, tell Mattel you want
Yeah, Mattel. We
your
need a double
flashback
J.
double J, and
We
I mean,
need so many. We need slap nuts.
I was gonna say what version?
yeah, the possibilities are endless here.
yeah.
Yeah,
We definitely
anything
need-
but the Aztec we just
We need
discussed.
the Jeff
With
Jarrett
technology
cut.
today, we've got to have one with flashing lights, a little battery thing.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Can they do that?
Possibilities
We'll
are
make him do
endless.
it.
We'll
They
make
don't,
him,
Mattel
yeah.
doesn't listen to us. We try though.
We try. We try to be
you
the
call
voice.
yourself
The
Michael
voice of
Jordan?
the people.
I am the Michael. Not only
No,
me,
you're not.
The fans.
No, you're
He's
not.
the Muggsy Bose.
Right? Do
of action.
do the fans call me the Michael Jordan?
Believe it or not, they do.
You're fans. That's about it. All right, guys.
All right, Double. We appreciate you
Appreciate
coming
it.
on.
Good
Talk
luck
Jeff,
in
you're
the
the man.
future.
Thanks.
See you
Hey,
guys.
hey! For one last time, can you say
Choke on that slap nut.
there it is? What a pro!
Nailed it.
Thanks, Jeff.